morning. Where
The
is
show is-
everybody?
I've got problems with my camera.
Right.
So I'm here in voice, but I'm not here on camera. John's not arrived yet. Stephen's not arrived yet. As soon as they do, I'll put them on camera, and then you'll be
Okay. In the
good to
meantime,
go.
I'll tell you about sunny Aberdeen. It's a nice, bright day. I've been away. Oh, you're on. You're on.
Well, I'm sort of on.
And I was
Okay.
away. I was away a walk with the dog this morning. I haven't had a great sleep today. And I went for a lovely walk with the dog early morning because, you see, I don't watch morning news anymore. I think they'll have lost it. There's John.
Hello.
Hello. We'll just wait. Look at John's long hair.
Yeah, that's long.
I'm desperate for a haircut.
So
Absolutely desperate.
I've got a cut in my chin, folks. With a safety razor. What's that about? And I didn't want to get it contaminating that, so I didn't shave. But I went round it the other day. And how's John today?
I'm all right, but I'm waiting for a British Gas heating engineer because we've got a leak in the bathroom from one of the radiators.
Oh, did you get a text this morning?
I did, thank you very much. I was going to thank you in a minute or two. I'm not sure what I've done to deserve it, but thank you.
It's for all your help in the past that you've done for me, and same as Stephen.
Thank you, Peter.
Sometimes I call you in the last minute, and I thought it's nice to just give something unexpected. Hey, but don't worry about it, because the money is going to an old lady's bill when my men do the work. They say,
as long as you recoup it, Peter.
Oh, that's a joke, folks. It's a joke, especially if you're listening from Germany or Switzerland. Yeah.
Yes, you upset somebody yesterday, Peter.
What did I say to upset her?
I think that the jokes were the problem. Just to explain, John, I'm here, but I'm having problems with my camera. So,
all right.
You know, it can't see me.
Oh dear.
It was about the Japanese during the war. Is that what it was?
I think possibly. There was a couple of jokes around the same time. All right.
People
Okay.
will be snowflakes. That's why.
If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Yeah, that's why GMTV has. When Piers Morgan left yesterday, their shares plummeted. Be careful what you wish for. The shares have went down. Now, of course, I didn't know this, but Good Morning Britain, ITV, the woman in charge, she's actually ex-Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
She's an she was the editor or whatever it was of the Guardian. And be careful what you wish for. But no, that's what happened yesterday to people that are listening in. The main presenter actually walked off. He refused to apologise because he's a man of his word. And he left.
Not everybody was upset with what he said, though. He may have got 41,000 complaints, or was it 4,100? I'm not sure which. But there's quite a lot of people who thought what he said made sense. So,
yeah. So I'll tell you, it's GMB's loss. I usually watch it every morning. I get up specifically to watch it. I listened to the radio today.
yeah.
I didn't watch it. And their shares went. The Guardian, I've got to tell you, if I was to say to you, Roy Greenslade, what would you know about that?
Nothing. Zero.
Stephen,
I don't know
would you
anything
know?
either.
Don't you know
Nope.
what happened? Stephen.
I have no idea.
Right, okay. Roy Greenslade was the editor of The Guardian. Okay? He's 74 now. And one of his writers said, I believe there is an IRA, what do you call it? Cell within The Guardian. And he got a hard time for it, this guy. Do you know what Roy Greenslade just said the other day? I was the one in the cell, the editor. He was the one in the cell.
We don't want to go back to those days, do we?
No. But all I'm saying, he resigned the next day from his job. Do you know what his job was? He worked at a university after that, and it was regarding ethics and journalism. And all that time, he'd been a sleeper. Wow. The Guardian. Wow. The Guardian. Interesting.
Okay. I suppose best place to start this week is
at the beginning. That's right. Where we start with ABC.
Stephen, I'd like you to do me a favour.
Yeah.
Could you put me full screen, please?
I worry when he asks to begin.
I know. It's a Japanese story coming. Perhaps not.
Dun-dun!
Oh, wow. Well done.
Take the whole family down.
No, it should be a lowercase f, though.
Well, here's the thing. Look at where it is. I waited 14 days to get this. It must have came from China. Look at it. It's not even in the middle. So, there you go. Look.
Oh, no, you got that one right.
I thought the writing would be smaller. So people stop you in the street and they'll go, what's that? I'll say, tune in on a Thursday. Here's the link. I'll see you there. What do you think?
Enterprising, Peter. Very good. Very good. It might catch on.
That Stephen was going to come in a T-shirt advertising something as well. But obviously his camera had heard and decided it didn't want to cooperate.
That's a problem with getting things online just now. You don't know exactly what you're going to get.
Look, mine is totally plain, advertising nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually, my brother actually has a apparel company, and they do T-shirt printing and things and embroidery. It's got two big embroidery 16 color embroidery machines. So but his specialism is hockey wear, ice hockey wear. Right,
Stephen, while you're doing that, do you mind if I share the screen to show you an award I got?
Not at all. Carry on.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's watching in, I got this through the post the other day, and I'll show you this. Hold on. Screen. I've got to get quick at this now. Chrome tab. Facebook. Hold on. Here. Come in!
Top 3 funeral directors.
Click him through. Has Stephen got it up?
Yeah, we can see it.
It's down in the bottom for me. Hold on. So this is what I woke up to this week, and I was speaking to a funeral director I know. He says the worst thing is, Peter, he says there's a funeral director in Falkirk will have a pest control one. Now, let me tell you, can take it down now. I'll stop it. So let me tell you, I'll just stop that.
Is that Make your
Throughout my
kingdom
life,
more
people,
rats.
if I had a pound for everybody asked and said, could you bump my mother-in-law off? Could you do it? I said, listen, I don't mind bumping people off, but I ain't getting rid of the body. You can do that yourself.
Yes, well, okie dokie.
Oh, Stephen, you still there?
I'm still here, but you can't see me.
Okay, right. What have you got in the agenda?
Has your
I'm trying to-
brio packed up then?
It's not looking good at the moment.
No. Well,
right.
there's a number of complaints on Facebook about the updated software, and when people put the update on, their camera stops working.
Well, I
Just
can
a recap.
I can confirm that, John.
All right. You can't roll back.
Well, not during a live broadcast, no.
Oh,
Okay.
did you only discover it when you started this broadcast then?
Yep.
All right, okie doke.
Right. The royal family.
No, you've misspelt it. It's Royle.
Yes, it probably was back in the day, John.
No. Royal family as in Jim and well, the rest of them.
I know. He with Caroline thingy.
Ahern,
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see anything of her anymore, though, do you?
She died.
There's a reason for that. There is a reason why we don't see any more of Caroline Ahern. I think, if I'm totally wrong, I'll admit it, but I don't think she's with us any longer.
No, she died.
Thank you, Peter.
I thought that was a different Caroline.
No. She died. It's a shame. Do you know I got an I got a very
Right.
you want to talk about a royal family? Sorry. That's Stephen. Yeah.
If you have a Windows update and your camera has disappeared, you need to unplug it and plug it back in again. Right. Sorry, carry on. Right. Okay. I think it's a family dispute, isn't it? As far as I can see, and it's just been done in the full glare of publicity.
What is perhaps a bit disconcerting is that even though they've complained he's a prince, they knew they're not a prince. They knew he wouldn't be a prince until Prince Charles becomes king.
Right.
So why make such a bloody fuss?
Yeah.
I just think it's absolutely tacky what they've done.
Well,
give all the money, you 8 million quid, give it to a mental charity. There you go.
Right. The country's split down the middle, half on the side of the royal family, half on their side. The younger people take their side, and we older folk, in generals, that is, not in specifics, taking the side of the royal family because they've been here so long. They've been here all our lives. Okay, so let's go away from something which is controversial to something which is not controversial. Trying to find something that's not. I was hoping that space correspondent would have joined us by now to talk about space.
Oh, well.
Okay. Right. Okay. Now this. I never thought I'd see the day that this would happen. Marks and Spencer's are to sell clothes from rival brands to boost online sales. Marks and Spencer's no longer selling their own brand clothes, but selling other brands as well in their stores and online. Yeah, it's a question of survival, isn't it, at the moment? Their clothes sales are 34% up. So on the back of that, they're going to extend the range, but not from goods that they've had manufactured for them, but by bringing in other brands. Now, this is upmarket brands, of course, so you wouldn't have anything lowbrow in Marks and Spencer's, but it is a fight for survival. John Lewis are about to announce further store closures. They've got 42 stores left. They're about to close 8. And this is a change, isn't it? We've now gone from buying in shops to buying online. Do you think?
Listen, folks, anybody that's listening, if you're in a store, if you've got a store in the high street or a little shop, here's my advice. Get out of it as soon as you can and join us, and we'll show you how to sell online, and then direct the customers to your website. Then they'll send the stuff to you. Now, it doesn't mean job losses. It just means you have a bank of people that can go into a separate room with you and talk to you and say, what do you want?
I think the high street has got to learn how to compete with the online vendors. Yeah. And it's got to have a differentiator that it hasn't really yet discovered as to why people should buy in the high street.
Well, one of those, as far as clothing is concerned and shoes, is you can actually try them on. Yeah. I mean, Amazon's will send you 20 and you send 10 back. It's pretty good, but it's just being able to walk into a shop and actually say, I'd like to try that on, please. You know, that's.
I don't know if I've mentioned. Hi, Andy Brown, that's my friend. And I don't know if I've mentioned this to you, but I just bought shoes from Switzerland. Right?
Yes,
no, you didn't. No, go on.
I was just in the process of buying more, and you get a 14-day trial, right? And if I keep them, I actually get them cheaper than I would brand new, which I'm quite. I mean, I've got them, but it's just an excellent way for me to do business just now. 14 days, and I can put them back. Well, within the 14.
But
so it's
crossed. Life is going to change shortly. Yeah. And we will be able to go back to the high street in a manner that we used to use the high street. And a lot of people are actually bored of shopping from home and bored of doing things from home. And also, there was a bounce last month in retail. That's a nice curtain you've got there.
Yeah, no, it's good, isn't it?
I hope it's not curtains for them. Need them in the show.
So
hi,
talking,
Andy, if you can hear me, if you can hear Andy, let us know.
Yep, and do you know what fueled last month's bounce back on retail?
What?
School clothing, because the kids had to go back to school, and most of them have grown.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel better now. I feel human. I've got my green screen. Everything's working in the world. You get used to it, don't you? Yeah. Okay. I just need to make a slight adjustment.
Well, you know, are you guys for my thing next week? If you've actually registered for it, are you just going to pop in? Did you register? I just want to know for the numbers.
I haven't registered, Peter.
Okay, you haven't. Well, I think I've got over 15 now, and I got a very nice email for somebody. It's a lady pest controller saying, thank you very much for arranging this. Has been great bit of networking. We get a CPD point, and I can tell you, things are moving, you know. And I'm really happy about it. But that email was really good. I did enjoy it. Don't put Andy Brown's hi there, because I want to know if he's there still. Don't know if he's working today.
He commented when he arrived, and if he's still here, comment again.
I did ask him.
Yeah.
Right. So that was good.
Okay. I'm trying to find something which will be of interest. All right. Okay. This I think is King Canute, but that's just me. Legislation is coming in which gives us the right to repair household appliances. And the government have said that household appliances are not lasting long enough. They should last longer, be it a dishwasher or a washing machine or a fridge, it should last longer. And the second thing is that if you're selling something, if you're selling a consumer unit, you should ensure that people can buy spares for it.
Yeah.
Now, there's a novel idea.
Good idea.
Yeah. I mean, we got used to products having built-in obsolescence, haven't we? We've been led. Your toaster's going to stop after 3 years. It's all your steamer or whatever is just going to stop working, and we accept it. We accept that things are going to wear out. Now, back in our day when we were young, things were built to last.
Now they're built to a price. That's the difference.
Uh-huh.
But during the Second World War, they needed torch batteries. And they went to them and said, why aren't they lasting long? They said, so we can sell more. Can you make them last longer? Yes. Well, you better do it for us, or we'll report you to Department of Trade and Industry. And that's what happened, you see. And then they got longer batteries from them.
Yeah, they just sell longer life batteries more expensively these days.
True. But I think this is a good move, but there is a bit of King Canute about it because, as you've both just illustrated, it cuts down profits.
Here's a question for you. If you were walking down the high street and a policeman stopped you, or a police person stopped you, and they want you to move on, you say, no, I'm just out for my walk, and this says, give us your name and your address. Would you give it?
I would, yes. I don't have a problem doing that.
John?
I don't have a problem with it either. But
well, I
was stopped.
I refused one day, which I won't go into it. But let me tell you what's just happened. All those people that gave their names and got a fine, there's a guy taking them to court. And the judge just said to the police, you had no authority to take their name and address. So there's going to be a big backlog of people. The only time they can stop you and take it if you've committed an offence. So this guy says, I'll take this to court. And he has won.
Is that Scottish law or
no, it's English law. That's an English one, you know. But I refused one day, and the policeman and his little police sergeant woman had to walk away with their tails behind them as I said, go on, out of here.
Rant number one.
Ask a question.
Peter.
That's not rant number one, that's rant number 3. You missed it.
All right, I was fixing my camera, I was distracted.
What do you think I am, a liberal? On your way.
I'm talking of liberal. We've got ward voting shortly, which I know is also the case where Stephen is. Yeah, and I'm not going to vote Liberal for the first time in a very, very long time because I don't like the candidate.
Oh, is the one that you do like?
Well, there's only one up for grabs.
Right.
So they're done on a rotational system, aren't they? So
yeah. There is a major problem with the elections. The government, other parties wanted to delay to give us a chance to get back to normal, and the government said no. And the government said we're going to go ahead with elections on May 6th. And the reasoning is simple and straightforward, that it's to their advantage to actually have the elections on May 6th because they're the party with the money and they can send out all the literature they want. They can do advertising left, right and centre because they've got a war chest. And the other thing that they've got, which I suppose is acceptable, is they've got a COVID bounce, which is a strange phrase. In other words, because they have done, well, the vaccination program is a vote winner, and it's very difficult to actually go against that. Even at local elections, Conservatives are favourites in most places now. I would not be surprised to see a Conservative landslide this time around.
I can tell you, if you want to see some fun in Scotland, keep an eye on Scotland, because I'll tell you what annoyed me. We got a letter through from the Scottish Parliament saying about the election, and I was infuriated because what came with it, an SNP leaflet. No Conservative, no Liberal, no Independents, no Alliance Party. the SNP, which I think it was probably legal. So that was that. Now, the second thing, George Galloway has come back to Glasgow and he's going to try to become an MSP. And what he's doing is they're tactical voting. They're actually going on Twitter and say, in Aberdeen, vote Conservative here, vote Liberal here, vote Labour there. They're doing a big campaign to get the SNP out. And they're saying, even if you don't like Conservatives, you need to vote them here to get SNP out. It's amazing.
Okay, well, I'm going to vote Conservative for two reasons. One is the proposed Liberal Democrat candidate is an utter buffoon. And I really mean that seriously, an utter buffoon. And the second is that a month back, we didn't get our recycling collected, and then the council told us we'd have to wait 2 weeks. So I emailed all of my local councillors. I never heard from the Democrats, and I didn't hear from the Labour one. But the Conservative guy rang me 10 minutes after I sent him an email. He didn't get my problem fixed, which was I have a giant bin full. But he did get the man who runs the collections to ring me, who offered me a second bin on a permanent basis. So I was quite impressed, to be honest. And then he's done another couple of things locally that, you know, we miss our Liberal Democrat MP. When we had our Dame as a Liberal MP, it was so much better. But now the Liberal Democrats, they've got rid of their local council leader. They've retired him off because he's hit 72, and it's fell to bits, which is a real disappointment. Now, I know Angelica's a Liberal Democrat candidate, isn't she, Stephen?
She is, yes, in the Devisers East Ward, and there's a page on Facebook, and there's a website and everything, and leaflets are being delivered, and yes.
I did joke that she'd got a newspaper around and that she hoped she didn't have to start too early. She did find it funny, I hope.
Oh, she did. She said she doesn't have problems getting up early, which inferred that he might. And she knew you'd understand.
So your area, Stephen, what would you say? It's a Liberal area, Conservative, Labour?
We are the town council is independent. We have a party in Devisers called the Guardians, and the Guardians are a group of independent people who got together to stop the council from cutting trees down originally back in the day. Morning, Stephen. And then went on to actually have the majority on the council. So the majority are independent, and then you've got the Conservatives and the odd Labour. But that's the local council. Wiltshire County Council, which is what Angelica's standing for, again, majority is Conservative. I mean, this is Wiltshire. This is traditionally a Conservative area.
Yeah, well, I live in a very Conservative area, but a few years back, we did actually have a Lorley, or however you pronounce Bert, who was our Liberal Democrat MP. She now sits in the House of Lords, and she's Lady Bert of Solihull. Baroness Bert, sorry, of Solihull.
Yeah, now, strangely, Angelica knows her two opponents. Both are ex-mayors of Devisers. Both served on the council for a long time. One runs the town band, the other runs the town closed circuit television. Both well known in town. So it is, well, I'm just hoping that
sounds like a fresh face campaign, you know.
It is. That's the thing to go on, fresh face campaign. So we'll see what happens. Good morning, Stephen.
Hello, how are we? Sorry for the delay.
It's okay.
I'm fixing a problem for a client, so.
Right. Oh, We thought you'd nip to Mars, and we're going to
Oh, well, no.
correspond with us direct from the surface of Mars.
No. But you raise a very exciting time. The Perseverance rover has trundled along the surface of Mars and works. They've done the first test zapping with a laser of the Martian surface. And about a month, they'll they will launch the helicopter, the little drone.
The drone, yeah.
And it's just fabulous, absolutely bloody fabulous. And then we've got things like Elon. Oh, did you see the launch of the SN10 rocket, Elon Musk's latest Starliner attempt? It was attempt number 10, and previous ones have crashed and burned on landing. But this one went up to 10 kilometers, did the belly flop maneuver, righted itself up, landed, but unfortunately landed and bounced a little bit. And then 6 months later, 6 months, 6 minutes later, it exploded. So it was a mission, it was a success. The mission was a success in that it lifted off, got as far as 10 kilometers up, came back down, landed, and then blew up. But it's all going. It's all. There's a guy on Facebook. No, there's a guy on YouTube called Scott Manley, who's an absolute genius at this sort of rocket science and space and what have you. And to sort of see these guys explaining what's going on is really, really educational. Pete, I know you do the YouTube thing, and I do as well. We watch different things, I know, but there's so much content for people who like everything. Really, it's just a question.
At the end of the day, what's the purpose of it going there?
Okay. Whenever people ask me that, I automatically switch off. Because if you don't know, then I won't be able to make you understand, I'm afraid. It's all about exploration. It's all around finding out whether life exists elsewhere. But, and I get that. I don't know if you do. Do you get that?
To me, the technological spin-offs from doing something like this are totally amazing. This is R&D at its best. To actually create technology which isn't in everyday use at the moment, but down the road maybe. So this is R&D at its best, Peter.
What did we get from going to the moon? Can you remember?
Biros.
Sorry?
Biros.
All right, that's right. The biros that can go upside down. What about satellite positioning? Did we get that from it?
I don't know where you're headed, Peter.
GP, did we get that from it? What did we learn from going to the moon? That's what I'm saying.
Right. Okay.
Either the technology that we've got now, satellites. I'm just trying to work out what we got from it. Long term.
Okay. Right, let's change topic. Stephen, have you seen the latest in Blabbing for Britain fashion?
I have. Where's all this come from?
Everybody has got to be wearing it if we can get a delivery. Peter, it's over to you.
Oh, do it, why?
What?
Yeah. There you go.
I think I would have preferred if it was a little bit more subtle, about this bit here.
To be honest with you, so did I. And you don't know what you're getting, and you're trying. And this, I actually got another one. It was terrible. I got another hat. I spent. I bought two. Bought another one from another place, and they still never got it right. It's hard to say to them. I just
have you seen the alignment on the hat?
Yeah, seen it.
Look at it. It's shit.
It must be Chinese.
I love the idea, Peter. I've got to say, I'm grateful for the idea. It does get the message across.
See, if I wear this in a supermarket and somebody comes up and says, "Excuse me, mate, that's not right," I says, "and that's why it's there, because you're talking to me."
Wait, I effed up so you can see I effed up. Yeah.
That's right. Aye. It's a conversation piece.
The F word was 4, by the way, because that's what's out of alignment. But never
Yeah.
mind.
Where's Katarina Wilberg from?
Well, folks, I haven't mentioned it, but I had a bit of an accident on Tuesday afternoon.
Oh dear.
I was going up 3 steps and I slipped off the bottom one and I damaged all me. Well, damaged. I've cracked the nails on 2 of my toes and my toes are all bloody bruised and horrible.
Oh,
Yeah.
When I put my foot down, I go through the roof.
Oh,
3
you
steps.
maybe need to get-
And I
you
fell off
maybe
the bottom one.
you maybe need the same shoes as me.
Shoes.
But
Those
for walking on the moon.
were showing off.
Mars.
Those are designed to make you taller, aren't they, Peter?
No, they're actually from the
That
Maasai
great big
tribe.
thick sole like that.
They're actually from the Maasai warriors. They watch the way they walked in out. See, how's your things? Think about it. They
Yeah.
watch the way they walk. Heel
They look
first.
like cut down versions of Gary Glitter's platform shoes.
Well, they're the most comfortable shoes I've ever had. But I don't know if I told you that before.
Can't
you
stop
did.
talking about
Did.
those bloody shoes. Could we ban shoes? Okay.
I think I could even do ballet with
No,
them.
I think we should all talk about shoes. 2 weeks ago, it'd been raining non-stop for a week. So on my birthday, we went out for a walk, and we went up about 2 miles away. Drove up, got out of the car, and these are farm roads, and the farm roads are covered in crap and mud. So I spent my birthday slip sliding on a long walk through the country roads of Devizes because my shoes had no tread on them. So my most comfortable shoes are a new set of shoes I bought from Mole Country Stores, and I can recommend them highly. So there you are, buy British. Well, I'm not sure they're British shoes, but it's a British store. Okay, over from shoes to a good news story for a change. Aston Martin's electrical sports models will be made at the Gaydon plant. I know it well, John. Do you know it well?
I did quite a bit of work down at the Gaydon plant when I first started. One of the tasks I did was help a friend introduce the new engineer's manual. But what I did was I reduced the engineer's manual to 12 mind maps, which was really popular. So I was going back and forth to Gaydon for about 3 months, twice a week. But it was a long time ago, about 18, 19 years ago.
Yeah, that's where the Motor Museum is as well, isn't it?
Yeah, although it's completely separate. The Motor Museum's sort of over here and the plant's over there, and they're not related. I have a funny story about the Motor Museum. When my dad was, his job was moved from, Dad worked at Land Rover for donkey's years. His job when they were taken over by BMW was moved to Cowley. He was publications manager responsible for Land Rover manuals. And he was 63 at the time, coming up 64. And so they had to keep him. And so they found him a job. And he joined the team that was responsible for the equivalent of company cars. They did car leases for all employees. That meant he had to move to Longbridge, but they gave him 3/4 of an hour to get there and to come back during working hours. But one day he had to go and do an audit of the vehicles at the Motor Museum. And on the list were 3 Land Rovers. And no matter how hard he looked, he could not find these 3 Land Rovers. Anyway, he goes back into the office next day and they ask him out loud, and this was clearly planned. They asked him out loud how he got on. So he stood there and he said, I did really well. I really liked it. I had to look around the museum while I was there, but I couldn't find these 3 Land Rovers. And apparently there's about 8 people in the office and they all burst out laughing. And it turns out the Land Rovers had been shelled with pretend railway engines, and they pulled the back and forth the trailers that the people sat on back and forth from the car park to the museum.
Set up.
Yeah.
Totally.
Most definitely.
Right. At the risk of turning this into a fashion show, Peter started it, so I'm going to take my seat now. And Stephen is wearing, if I can get this on screen, it'd be good, a t-shirt. But it's not just any t-shirt, because I'm a member of Grow Your Business. Okay, advert over. Fraser, you owe me one, and back to normal. Okay, that's all by way of saying that Fraser and I start a broadcast next Wednesday, 10:30, which is called The Marketing Show. That's stunned everybody. Yeah.
I'm just beginning to wonder if you'll ever have time to sleep with all these shows that you're doing. I mean, well, it was last week. You had about 4 in a day, didn't you?
I did 12 shows last week. There was basically we did the last week was a special week because we did 5 shows Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. and there were 10 of us involved, and we were talking about live video production. And we went on Be.Live, which is where we are today. We went on StreamYard, went on Restream, went on Melon by Streamlabs, and we went on OBS Ninja, which is totally free to the world. And we gave the features of each, and now people can actually compare what it looks like when you go on each of the 5 platforms. I'm doing a spreadsheet which compares the features of every single system, and writing 5 blogs, 1 for each. And this is all part of live video production, which is it's a financial venture, basically, for producing shows for people. And the 10 of us have got together, and we're actually going to be producing shows for other people on a commercial basis. Right, thank you for the advert, John. And Fraser, thank you for the t-shirt. Oh, sorry, not just for the t-shirt. This probably won't show, but thank you for the mug as well. And thank you for the mug that you sent to Angelica. Okay.
You've been mugged, the pair of you.
We've both been mugged. We were snuck up on and mugged. Okay, so we've done NASA. Okay, where can we go from here? Where do you like to go? You'd like to go to Tokyo?
Is there any point in having the Olympics as people can't watch?
Oh, people can't watch?
Football and empty stadiums. Today is an anniversary in football. Did you know?
No.
A year ago today was the last time matches were played in front of large crowds in football stadiums.
Right.
That was stunned silence from a useless piece of information.
Okay.
Peter's frozen himself. Look,
Yeah,
He's still here.
He's still
Can
here.
you still hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Yeah, I'm just looking up some information over on.
You're talking across each other then. Would you like to speak individually?
I'm just looking at how many people are going to come to my thing next week.
Good.
I
Okay.
I think he looks a bit like Captain Scarlet in that pose.
Captain Scarlet. Dude. Now listen, I've got 16 coming next week, and I've got 15 maybes out of 267 invited. But just to let you know, I'll come back on. In the pest control industry, I'm going to come back on pause. In our industry, next week, it's quite a big thing. We have got a 3-day event online.
Mm-hmm.
And It's on for 3 days, and they've got different people in different rooms, and we go in, and if we want to go and look at company X with their brand of products, we'll go into their room and see it. So I'm quite excited about all that. And then on the Thursday, some people come to see me. You know.
Well, you've been working at this for years, Peter, and I'm just glad and happy, and I hope it goes successfully. To be able to do training for your industry and for people to actually gain qualifications from attending your training is a milestone. So congratulations.
What I'm doing is I'm getting suppliers to give a deal, and they're only getting their points if they come on the day. So could you leave it up? Go, no, you've got to be in the room. You've got to be in the room to get your point. That's it. Back to you.
Oh, good. I did put the Olympics on up there, but nobody wants to talk about the Olympics. We don't want to talk about the EU. Oh, well, we could do actually, because this is interesting. The EU are about to take us to court, but we're not bound by any of the regulations anymore. Is that true?
Weird, isn't it? I don't actually know why they're doing it. Does anybody know why they're taking this?
Well, there is a grace period between England and Northern Ireland in terms of checks at the border or non-checks at the border. And our government has said, we're going to extend that from 3 months to 6 months, and we don't care what the EU says about it. That's the way it is. So the EU are taking us to court.
So basically, anybody that wants to send a product to Northern Ireland is basically to jump through hoops.
Not yet. Not yet. They will have to eventually, but at the moment we're actually putting off the evil day. And trade is actually proceeding. No, just on a note, on EU note, our trade with Germany in January fell by, do you want to guess how much it fell? You can go for
20%.
20%, says John. Any advance?
30.
30 says Stephen. Peter, how far did it fall?
I would say about 30%, because you've expected just now until the fix things, because no bicycle parts aren't coming over from different countries at the moment.
Our trade with Germany in January fell by 56%.
So we didn't buy many Volkswagens then?
No, it's obviously a two-way thing, but
we're not buying many.
Germans are going to be worried then.
Though, are we?
Don't know where it's going to end up. Don't know where. Talking of where, we are in a situation where restrictions are easing, they said. And when can I go on holiday abroad or in the UK? Well, I think in the UK it's 29th of March or 12th of April. Which is it?
Moot point, I think. Who's going to be stupid enough to go on a holiday in that sort of time frame?
The prices have doubled.
June.
I saw something yesterday that at Heathrow there are massive queues.
Yep.
Because the border police, or border guards, whatever they're called, are only putting like 4 people on duty on a desk, and so they're massive queues. But I would like to know who the hell is actually travelling at the moment. I thought we were in lockdown. I thought we were meant to stay at home. Where are these hundreds of thousands of people coming from or going to?
We have quite right. We've got a blanket ban, but we've got exclusions, and exclusions, if you can justify it as business travel, then you can go here and there. The queues at Heathrow, you're quite right. 7 hours is the somebody reported the average time waited at border control is between 2 and 3 hours. Yeah, so. Right, but on a note, infection rates in England are coming down, I mean, ours in Devizes is now down to 32 per 100,000, which
very low.
it is. I mean, the highest is 200 at the moment, and then we go all the way down to 0 in the Shetland Islands, or is it Jersey? Possibly Jersey.
See, the Isle of Man's locked down again. Did you see that?
Nope.
So the Isle of Man, where everybody was in the pub drinking, and then all of a sudden they've locked down again because some people got COVID.
It's 54 here.
Right. Yeah. Which again is low. Is low. What's it like in Stoke?
It was 290 at one stage.
COVID-19 data. Where are we? ST4. Okay, yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? 7. So for where I live, it's fewer than 3 cases. But that's my, that's within a couple of miles.
Yeah.
But am I looking for the?
You're looking for the number per 100,000.
Yeah.
The current dates are 26th of Feb to 4th of March.
Well, the Guardian's doing it daily. If you go onto the Guardian front page, halfway down, you see a banner with the stats. Click on that, go to the UK, and you can type in where you live, and it will tell you. But it gives you a full list of every single conurbation for which they have stats.
Well, I've got the gov.uk thing, and the rate per 100k is not available. And the people 7 days to March, people tested positive is 0 to 2. That sounds quite low, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to share screen. I'm going to hide me. Right, so I'm going to hide, and I'm going to share screen, which would be that button.
So, according to the Stoke Sentinel, it's 99 cases per 100,000.
That's high, isn't it? That's really quite high.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
I'll get there in a minute.
Very, very high place at one stage.
Yeah. So this is the Guardian's page, and it's still refreshing. But this is the page that's got all the stats on. So there's the map, okay? And the darker, the more cases there are, and it is a clickable map. Then cases per day down to 5,926 yesterday. People in hospital dropping below 10,000, 9,4.
Yeah, Alice says they've got empty spaces on her COVID ward now.
Yeah.
Look at Aberdeen. There's nobody there.
Hang on a minute. Let's go back up to the map. No. Okay. But the interesting thing is that if you go, well, sort of interesting, is if you go down and you go past the vaccines, you can go down to by local area, and you can type in WILT, and there you are, 34. But the other thing is you can show all. So you can search for an area, or you can show all. And the highest number at the moment is South Derbyshire, 149. That's actually been, all these numbers are going down. And as I scroll down, you can see that the number below 100, the number below 50 is increasing.
People getting it.
That's the people who have it at the moment per 100,000.
If you don't mind.
So these are very, very
Aberdeenshire, 20.
okay.
There'll probably be a separate one for Aberdeen itself, though.
Yeah, Aberdeen City.
Yeah. So there you are, Scottish Borders. And in fact, the lowest number at the moment is the Orkneys with 0. Yeah. And you notice that they're all islands at the bottom, which is understandable.
South isn't an island, is it?
Some of them are, some of them aren't. Okay, so that's the Guardian, and that's got full stats, every single updated daily. And we should be back on screen when I press that button.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's it. That's where all the stats are.
It's quite interesting because I find out that there's actually 2 testing centres within 1.5 miles of each other in Solihull. One is at Birmingham Airport and the other one is at the back end of the NEC. Run by 2 completely different organisations.
But as soon as we're let loose again, you know it's going to go up. Vaccinated or not vaccinated.
Oh, the man himself, Professor Whitty, is it? He too expect an increase. As we get freedom, it will go up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people will be stupid and not continue to observe simple things.
No. So in Scotland on Friday, we're allowed to meet in 4 of us, 2 from 2 households. So we can meet Sheila's daughter with her partner outside, but you can't come inside, only for the toilet.
In the UK, in England, on the 29th of March, you can have 6 people from different families meet together outside, or 2 families with no limitation on the number.
It's complicated. It's never been easy. You have to walk about with a ready reckoner with you. And even the police get it wrong. Difficult times.
There's in North Birmingham, there's a gym. Yeah, and somebody told the police that the gym was open and running, and they turned up with 2 vanfuls of guys to find the shutters are down. Yeah, and the first thing the man who owned the gym knew about it was when he run the previous night's video just through to make sure everything was okay. And then he said, what a waste of manpower. But the police said, do we do or do we not? We're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. So we went and had a look. No offence was being committed. Therefore, we moved on to the next task.
I was listening to the radio the other day, and it was up in North Shields or something like that. And certain members of the community were still meeting in the shops with the shish. What do you call that things you puff?
That happens all the time around here.
Well, why is it not
raving shisha parlours.
So why is it not stopped?
Well, it's because they hold them in different places. So instead of holding them in the shisha parlour, they're holding them in garages and things like that. And it's because they're addicted and they can't stop. Well,
when did actually Boris Johnson come on and say, bad news, we're shutting down? When was it? What date was it last year?
23rd of March was the big kickoff day.
That was the day. What's today's day?
It's the 11th today.
So it's not quite a year yet that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
The big day. Yeah.
Yeah. And we are still here, and we're still blabbing for Britain. And it's over to John to close today's broadcast.
I've got a question for Mr. Aberdeen.
Yes.
Who doesn't like football? What are you going to do without a manager? Well, Mr. McNeese left after 8 years.
Yeah. Well, who would want to be a manager? Well, I would. I'd do it for a day and take the money and run. But you'll never keep the fans happy, no matter who it is. Listen, I remember when they tried to get rid of Alex Ferguson, and there's always some people sitting there who know better, and he got a chance, right? But they just want more and more and more and more. And when the manager doesn't make it, doesn't matter if the players are useless and can't put the ball in the net.
The same applies to Mr. Jurgen up in Liverpool. He's living dangerously now because when they've been 8th in the past, the manager's gone. So it's quite interesting to see. Anyway, it's that magic time of 11:01. So we're a minute over our allotted time. So it's goodbye from him down there in Stoke, him over there in Wiltshire, and him, well, sort of up there in Scotland. And we'll be here same time next week. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.